I had to have Garner break out the bleep. Mark's got a couple of days off, so this was a big moment for Garner. I'm like, dude, we've got some curse words here that you've got to make sure you cut out of this clip. And he said, I'm on it. Now, I haven't heard it. So, Garner, your job's on the line here, my man. You okay with that? You feel confident in your odds of maintaining this job?
I do.
Okay. All right, good. So yesterday, this clip went viral. Ashley Ani, she is a state rep in Platte County. So she is a Democrat who is fighting against the possibility of Missouri redistricting from a 6-2 map to a 7-1 map. What does that mean? 8 congressional seats, of course, in the state of Missouri. Right now, 6 of those congressional seats are strongly Republican seats. 2 of those, Emmanuel Cleaver in Kansas City, the other one over in St. Louis, are strongly Democrat seats. So you've got a pretty easy 6-2 map. You win the primary, you're going to win the general. But as we're seeing down in Texas, there's a push from the Trump administration to redistrict Missouri to a 7-1 map. And that obviously has been controversial. I'm not a fan of it. I've laid out the reasons for that. I'll keep laying those out here coming up. But I believe this was in Chicago, because I heard a bunch of Missouri Democrats went up to Chicago, where, of course, the Texas Democrats went to go protest the fact that they're going to be redistricting. And Ashley Ani out of Platte County went viral for her commentary outside in front of the microphone when she said this yesterday.
What I keep reminding my Republican colleagues across the aisle is that Donald Trump is a president. He is not a dictator. He is not a king, but he is an authoritarian. And I'm tired of him calling up Missouri and saying jump, and every Missourian saying, all right, Daddy Trump, how high? Whatever you say. Shame. That's exactly right.
Shame, 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 shame.
Daddy, the Republicans who I work with, who are in September going to be called back into the legislature to vote on a 7-1 map rather than the 6-2 map we currently have, I want to ask every single one of them, where was your vote in 2022 when we did this last time? 23 House members in Missouri voted for a 7-1 map. Only 23 out of 163 of us. They're all going to pour in. They're going to do exactly what Daddy Trump told them to. They're going to hit that button, and they are going to give us a 7-1 map in Missouri. 58% of Missouri voted for Trump, but they want to send an 87% representation to Congress. It's bullshit. We won't stand for it in Missouri.
Well, there's nothing you're going to do. There's nothing you can do. So you can stand there and say, we're not going to stand for it, but you can't block it. You just can't. So it's a good fundraising moment for her and for other Missouri Democrats. And if you're looking at it from a silver lining perspective, if you're a Missouri Democrat, you may have a couple of purple-ish districts that you might be able to compete in now. Like, that opportunity does exist. That's why I'm against the idea of the 7-1 map, because my fear would be you would create potentially more competitive districts that could, who knows, flip the other way. I mean, if the parties continue to shift. I don't know. I mean, I'm not predicting it because of how one party has basically totally turned its back on middle America values. But we've seen crazier things happen. Look at the last 10 years in American politics. I mean, Jason Kander almost beat Roy Blunt 8 years ago. You had Jay Nixon as the governor. You had Democrats who were very prominent across the state of Missouri. Now you can't find one. But it's very difficult for me to give a lot of sympathy to somebody from Missouri in Ashley Ani, who's out of Platte County, who's on the steps of some place in Chicago talking about gerrymandering in Missouri, which it absolutely would be. I mean, let's just call it what it is. It would clearly be a gerrymander in Missouri if they went to a 7-1 map. But when you look at a place like Illinois that is gerrymandered with 14 out of 17 districts built for Democrats, 14 out of 17 in the state of Illinois, which outside of Cook County, Chicago, has a lot of red, right? A lot of red outside of Cook County, which, of course, is where Chicago is. They've got 82% of their congressional seats that are set up as Democrat. They've gerrymandered the you-know-what out of that state. And then you look at some of these other states. California gets about 40% of the vote for Republicans. They right now have 17% of the congressional seats. Massachusetts, 35% Republican, 0 Republican seats. Connecticut, 38% Republican, 0 seats. New York, 42% Republican, 26 seats, 26% of the seats. Maryland, 38% GOP, 12% of the congressional seats. 1 out of 8. That's what Missouri would do on the other side. New Mexico, 44% GOP, 0 congressional seats. Now, are there seats in Republican states that are gerrymandered too, to some extent? Yeah, but they have like 1 or 2 seats. The Dakotas have what? 1 seat each? You can't gerrymander a state that's got 1 congressional seat, okay? That's impossible to do when you only have 1 seat. Even if you got 2, it's like there's only so much you can do with states that have 1 or 2 seats. Wyoming, the Dakotas, places like that. But California, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, Maryland, New Mexico all have several seats. Illinois, obviously, top of the list. So I don't like it because of what I fear it could bring when you've got very solid maps right now on a 6-2 breakdown. But I also can't sit here and say that Republicans are doing something that, oh my gosh, the other side has never done and would never do. It's an ugly part of American politics. And while in a perfect world, we would have far more, I hate this word, but dare I say equitable maps? More competitive districts in a perfect world. Yeah, I think that would be good for everybody. I think that would be good for the candidates as well and the people that represent us in Congress. That's not where it's at right now. It's just not. I can't create a world that doesn't exist. You got to play by the rules as they're currently written. And you know what? The blue states have said, we're throwing those rules out the window and we're going to do what we want to do. And now the other side's doing it. And it's like, whoa, we've got a king in charge. Daddy's home. Oh, my goodness.
Daddy, you're my daddy.
It's like, okay. And Dennis in Bonner Springs, what's going on?
Man, don't play that dude, when I'm getting ready to talk, because now you got me laughing on your daddy. Real quick, I've always said this. If like you said, one of the states I think had 44% Republican and 0 seats.
Yeah, New Mexico.
Why isn't this? To me, the easy thing is, if it's a 50-50 state, you have 50 Democrat representatives, 50 Republican. If it's 44-56, you have 56%. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. In a perfect world, you're right. But,
yeah.
You know, this stuff ebbs and flows. Look at Missouri. It's a 60-40 red state. But, hey, we were voting statewide for Democrats 10 years ago.
Yep. So, hey, have a good weekend, buddy. Keep your gym locker closed.
Thank you for that. You know, I went back to the scene of the crime yesterday for the first time, where I had all my credit cards stolen out of my wallet in my gym locker. And I'll admit, I don't want to sound over dramatic here, John, but I will admit there was a part of me walking back in there that had this weird feeling of being violated.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
And I didn't expect to feel that. Like, I was fine.
Yeah.
Once I got in there and got going and worked out and the whole thing, it was fine. But it is weird. And it's on a very, very small scale compared to people who actually get assaulted and abused. But it was weird to go back to this place where the last time you were there, you literally were violated.
Something happened.
Yeah, something happened.
See, I go in and my head's on the swivel and my inner dialogue is Taxi Driver De Niro.
Yeah.
What are you looking at? You looking at me? Where'd you come from? You're new here, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I'm looking now. You're right.
Checking
I'm looking
out everything.
I'm
like
looking
Criminal
at
Minds episode.
exactly.
Freeze frame on the camera. Is that thing even on?
I'm looking at everyone being like, "Is it you?
Yeah.
Who's the sleazeball around here? Who's the thief?
Why'd he smile at me?
Who spent $7,000 at Best Buy with my credit card?" Yeah, I just hope that the police get on it now. I mean, this should be a fairly easy case to solve.
It was easier in my day. Dude comes in lugging a big boom box on his shoulder. You go, there he is.
I got to imagine they've got cameras at Best Buy. The guy was at Dollar Tree 5 minutes before that with my credit cards trying to spend $500. I don't know. To me, you slap this all together, they should be able to solve it pretty quickly. But I know the bureaucracy is what it is, and this is not the most important thing that the Olathe Police Department has to solve right now. Although I wish it was. Apparently it's not.